Hey guys, I am back and today we are going to be doing a fun little repressing session. I talked about doing this in my 2021 year-long project pan update, and today I'm going to be doing two different little repressing projects that I have going on. The first is my Tarte Park Avenue Princess palette. So my main focus is the shade Carrot, which you can see has a good amount of pan in it. And I'm actually going to be traveling very soon, so I wanted to mix a little bit of Carrot with the shade Crown there at the end because we're heading into summer. Things are starting to get warm. I'm starting to get a little bit more of a tan, but I'm not quite deep enough to pull off Crown yet. So I thought that mixing the two would make a good shade for the next couple of months, and then I would be able to transition into Crown. So that is my plan. I'm just starting off by grinding up Carrot, and that's the lighter shade, and dumping it into this very beautiful Tinkerbell bowl that I have. I don't know if you can tell, but we have a very high class, very technical setup for this video. So if it's bugging you, I'm very sorry, but this is the best we could do. So now that I have gotten Carrot, I started looking at Crown, and I'm scraping off. I'm trying to do it in as even of a layer as possible to not disturb the product too much or cause it to shatter. So that is what I am doing to that shade there on the end. And once I get a good amount of that shade, I was trying to go for like a 50-50 split, then I start mixing it up. So I'm trying to not go for the marbled bronzer look. I'm trying to get them to mix evenly. Not sure how good of a job I did, but think I think I did good considering the setup we have going on here. And I just spent a good amount of time breaking up the bigger chunks. Carrot kind of chunked out since it was so panned already. And then I decided it was a little bit too deep, so I wanted to add a smidgen of one of the highlighter shades. I believe I used Enhance, and just took a little chunk of that and added that in. And then once that was all thrown in, then I just mixed it up again, trying to really distribute the lighter powder with the bronzer powders. And then once I was done with that, then I took out my isopropyl alcohol. Mine's green. It smells like mint. I don't really know why. That was just the only one that was there when I went looking for isopropyl alcohol like 2 years ago. So I'm just adding a little bit. I'm pouring a little in my spoon and then drizzling it in because I have been known to over pour in the past, and so I'm trying to learn from my mistakes. Not sure how good of a job I'm doing. And as you can see, I do this many times when repressing this product and then the product I'm going to go into next, just because I don't want to completely screw it up. So once I get it to a consistency that I like, it's sticking together really well, but not too liquidy, then it was time to transfer it to the empty pan that used to have the shade Carrot in it. So that is what I do next. I just kind of dollop it all in there, and then once I do spend a good amount of time cleaning out the bowl and cleaning off the spoon. I really wanted to make sure I got all of the product in order not to waste too much. And then I am pulling out a tissue in order to press down that new bronzer shade. So this part I did kind of a crappy job at. I was pressing a little bit too hard and it really just made it uneven, but it took a couple more pressings in order to get it, you can see my big fingerprints, in order to get it really flat and even, and then once I start using it, that won't be a problem anymore. So that is pretty much what it ended up looking like. I do clean up the edges a little bit after pressing it down as well. And then once we were done with that, then I moved on to my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector pressed in the shade Champagne Pop. So this shattered on me, and I've been meaning to repress it for a while now, and I've just been really lazy about it. So I started scraping it in. I'm trying to be as clean as possible. This is my desk where I do schoolwork, so I didn't want all of my future notes to have Champagne Pop all over them, but I just am scraping it into the very handy bowl we have here. And then once I have it all scraped out, I do spend a good amount of time kind of trying to clean out the pan Then I start grinding and really getting all of the chunks down to a really small size. My issue that I have had with this highlighter is that it's very, very soft. This is the second time I've repressed it. The first time it just shattered. This time the product kind of separated from the packaging in a big disc, and so then once it was separate, it was kind of rattling around loose in the packaging and then shattered even more. So I'm hoping that that doesn't keep happening, but worst comes to worst, this isn't a super difficult process, so I guess I can just keep repressing it every couple of months. That would be unideal though. And then comes the isopropyl alcohol. I'm a little bit more generous this time around because I got bored. Um, and then I'm just mixing. I do this a couple of times, you know the drill. And yeah, this highlighter is really good. It's one of my favorites. It's in my project pan. And I really like it, but when it's like flaking and chunking off because it's shattered, it makes a huge mess that's like totally not worth it. So I'm really glad to be fixing this, and I will not be taking this in any sort of car or road trip or flight anytime soon because it is just not to be trusted. Now that it's kind of getting to the consistency that I wanted, I then pulled back out the empty container and dumped it on in. So the last time I repressed it, I got product everywhere, so I was trying to be a little bit neater this time, and I really spread it around the pan with the spoon before going in with the tissues, and try to flatten it, get as much product as possible into the pan. And then it was kind of a fun consistency, so I started playing with it, got distracted there for a second, as you can see, and then I went in with the tissue, and I was trying to do more even pressure. Again, last time I made a huge mess, and I'm trying not to recreate my past mistakes. And then now that it is flat, my tissue was getting quite wet, so I actually ended up replacing it with a fresh tissue, as you can see right here, all nice and clean and fresh. So I just pressed it down until I got it nice and flat. So that is everything that I have for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to let me know down below. I can always do more of these. I am very certain that this won't be the last thing that I repress. And that is everything that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are. Bye, guys.